Hello, and welcome to the Saddle Salon. If you own a saddle, sooner or later, you're going to have to replace your latigo. Well, today, I'm going to show you how to do that, as well as how to install a billet. This is a common way that I see latigos attached to a saddle. It's quick, it's easy, but I've seen it fail. What seems to happen is that it slips, and it keeps slipping until one day your latigo falls off. Here's the thing. This isn't the only way to tie on your latigo or billets. Let's take a look at 3 ways that are more secure. For this job, I recommend you have a few tools with you. A pair of needle nose pliers, a heavy duty awl. Now if you don't have one of these, you can use a screwdriver or even a heavier nail, a pair of scissors, or you can use a razor blade. If you bought a new latigo, it should have come with a piece of latigo lace. Now, the reason why I said to get scissors or a razor blade is because a lot of times they come with a real narrow taper, or they don't even have a taper at all. It'll make your life a lot easier to put a longer taper in it. I usually cut about an 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches to start my taper, and that'll make it a lot easier to lace it. For the first method I'm going to show you, take your lace, run it through one of the bottom holes, take your other end, run it through the opposite, pull them so they're fairly even. Then take one end and run it to the opposite hole. Pull it tight. Take the other one and run it to the opposite hole. And again, pull it tight. Now take the back strings, put them together, and we're going to run them through the top. Take your awl and run it behind these two. Take these strings and run them behind the 2 loops. Pull it tight. Now this is similar to the common way, but because we've ran the 2 here, what they do is they lock down so they're less likely to slip. The second method is often called a saddle maker's knot, and it's the one that I use most frequently in the shop here. So you're going to take your lace and you're going to run it through the back or the side that's towards the horse, taking it through the bottom 2 holes. Get those fairly even. Then what you're going to do, you can see I've painted these. Well, you're going to flip these so the painted side's out. Basically, it's the rough side that is out and the smooth together. Run those through the top together and pull. Then you're going to take one string and run it through the bottom. Now, some of these are going to be tight, so what you'll need to do is use your awl, and you can push your awl through there and it'll widen that hole up, making it easier to pull your lace through. So take that lace through the back and pull up. Go to the opposite side. You're going to take the string, run it through the back, and pull tight. Take your awl, run it under a loop, take the string and run it through the opposite side. Same thing, take your awl under the outside loop, kind of opens a gap for you, run your lace over that loop but under this one. And pull these tight. The back makes a nice little triangle. The front is like that. Now you could choose to leave these little tails on. A lot of times what I do is I'll actually trim them off, but leave some length to it. Don't cut them down here because otherwise they're going to slip out. Leave some length to them. The last method that I'm going to show you is a fancier saddle maker's knot. Now, usually you see this on a rear billet, and that's usually where I put them, so that's where we're going to be working, is on a rear billet. Take your lace and run it through a bottom hole. Take the opposite side, run it through the opposite hole. Get the two pieces fairly even. Now I'm going to flip this up so you can see. And I'm going to take the rough sides and flip them so the smooth sides touch. Take these pieces and run through the single hole here. Pull. Now watch your lace that it doesn't twist too much. See, it's wanting to twist. Keep that from happening. Should end up smooth side out. If not, make it so. Back to the front again. Pull that tight a little. Now take one string and run it through. Same thing, take the other one, run it through the hole. I'm going to flip it up. Now, take one of the strings and you're going to come back to the front on the same hole that it just came out of. And that'll probably be a little tight, so I'm going to take my awl and I'm going to widen that hole just a little bit. Run your string through. Pull. Now go to the other side that you haven't done yet. Grab it, bring it around the front, take your awl, widen out the hole, and run your string back through it and pull. Flip it back up. This is the back side. So just like the saddle maker's knot that's not fancy, run your awl under loop, make a hole, run your string through. Do the same thing on the outside loop, go over. So now take this string, goes over that one and under this one. Hold tight. This is the back side and the front. You have a little fancy triangle with the sides. Again, just like the traditional saddle maker's knot, you can choose to leave these, but typically I don't. I cut them off, and again, leave a little length to them. Do not cut them right here, or they'll just come loose. See, I've cut, but I've left some length. And that's it. A word about pliers. Now, you didn't see me use any, but I didn't actually have to, and generally I don't. But if you don't have very good grip strength, or you have some problems pulling, then the pliers can be handy. The thing to remember with pliers is that they are going to leave marks. So you want to try and use them where they're not going to leave marks, or that you're going to cut off and it's not going to be an issue. The other thing to remember is that you don't pull so hard that you actually break the lace. So you don't have to get too cranky with it, but you do have to put a little bit of nice tightness to it. So if I'm using the pliers, I generally grab a tail and I'm marking it where I don't care, because I'm going to probably cut that piece off. What I do is I brace it against this edge, because it's not going to really mark up, and if it does, it's not noticeable. Don't put it on the smooth leather, because it will probably bark it up. So you grab it and just pull and twist, staying on this rough piece. Okay? Do the same thing over here. Grab it where you don't mind, put it on the rough, and twist. Okay? Nice and tight. But can you see? It's left marks. So that's what I say. Make sure wherever you use these, you don't care if it leaves marks. Okay, you can see I've trimmed it. Got rid of those places where I marked it up with the pliers. Notice I left some length. Again, don't cut it here. Otherwise it's not going to do you any good. It's just going to slip out. Leave a little length. For these methods, I used a leather latigo. But you can lace nylon latigos or billets using these same methods. Also, please remember to check your latigo and billets every time you ride. They're easy to change, and they're a lot cheaper than a hospital bill. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the ride.